Hello, I'm Trace.
And I'm Sam.
And we're bad to the bone. And this is From Our Perspective. I think this is the 70th episode, right?
Yes, because the last one was 69.
Nice. Thank you.
Welcome to the 70th episode.
Yeah, so this is welcome to the 70th episode.
7-0.
It's the sadder one because, the better one was last week because it was 69.
Yeah.
And also we had friends. But the number, it was the funny sex number.
And also it's 2 a.m.
It is sad. It is also, it is 2 a.m. when recording this because we're bad.
We're really bad. We're really bad at this whole thing to the bone. We're really bad at this whole thing to the bone.
Well, I was about to say yesterday was Father's Day because it is the 22nd. Yesterday was Father's Day.
Yeah.
It's just we've been busy, and it was also Father's Day, so we put things.
Get off our ass.
Yeah, get off my back, Mom. But yeah, happy Father's Day to all the daddies out there. Especially our dads. My dad is Adam Sandler, of course, and your dad is Harrison Ford.
Yes, we have a very prestigious lineage.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So our friend Grant said that your dad looked like Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
He doesn't really.
I don't see it.
And your dad doesn't look like Adam Sandler.
No, my dad does look like Adam Sandler, though. He looks like if you were to... I know we've talked about this before.
I feel like we have, but...
He looks like Adam Sandler in... Like, if you were to... see him from afar and from passing, you'd be like, was that Adam Sandler? No, it wasn't.
Yeah. I don't think you wouldn't do that with my dad, especially since Harrison Ford is like way older than my dad.
Yeah, Harrison Ford's like 80 something and your dad's like 60, right?
I don't think so.
50?
Yeah, he's in his 50s.
Oh. Sorry. I feel real bad now.
We'll cut it out.
No, it's okay. He can just fist fight me if he wants to. I'll let him get a couple of blows in. I can understand that, I called him 60. I don't know. I was just taking a guess.
No, you're fine. It's fine.
I feel bad.
Happy Father's Day, though.
No, wait. I got to talk to him for a second.
Talk to Terry. Okay.
Terry, I feel like Lisa put you on. She put the headphones on your ears. So just listen to me for a second, Terry. Terry, I love you. I didn't mean it. I just took a guess. It's real late, but I love you.
He's real sleepy.
I'm real sleepy. Thank you for taking me to the movies at least 3 times, probably more. But yeah.
Anyway, now that that's over.
Now that that's over. How you been, Sam?
I've been good.
You're not a dad, and neither am I.
No.
So we did not get cards, which sucks.
It's bogus.
Did you get your dad a card?
We should have gotten cards. Yeah, I got my dad a card.
Okay. I did too. It was a funny one. It was like I noticed this when I was picking out a card. Any Father's Day card, you know how like at Walmart or whatever, on the big card wall, it has the thing where it's like Father's Day cards, and then like right next to it or right under it, it says Father's Day funny.
Yeah, they're hysterical.
Same thing with birthdays and stuff, but there's always like the serious, and then there's the funny.
Yeah.
Specifically, the Father's Day funnies are almost 90 to 95% about fart jokes. There's always a fart, or the punchline is a fart, or
don't act like you don't laugh at fart jokes.
Well, here's the thing.
You laugh at a good fart joke.
When something tells me that it's supposed to be funny, Like when I'm watching a comedy movie that's like I've paid this movie to be funny, you know?
Yeah. It's held to a higher standard. That's what you're getting at.
Yeah, I've paid this card to make me laugh, or at least kind of do the thing with when you exhale through your nose, because I don't laugh like in the store as I'm reading it like a crazy person.
Yeah, you can't. You just chortle real quick. It's just
it's just the quick exhale through the nose or something like that. I pay this card. I pay this company to make me laugh. Now, when I'm paying something, when I'm specifically asking for something to make me laugh, I do not find fart jokes funny. Just not at all. It's like off limits. No, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Now, if me and you were sitting together, and you just, as my grandpa calls it, cut a choke. My grandpa comes up with some crazy shit. But cut a choke, I'll probably laugh.
You probably laugh really hard if I said, man, I just cut a huge fucking choke.
Well, the thing is like, that wasn't something he always said. Uh-huh. It was something that he started saying probably 3 years ago that I know of. Like, I never heard him say that before then. And the first couple of times he said it, I thought he was saying chode. And I was like, why are you saying that? And that's what made it really funny. And now I laugh because it catches me off guard, and chog is such a funny word.
Yeah, chog. It's a little too close to chode. You're right.
Especially if you've never heard the word chog, and he doesn't. I'm obviously overpronouncing it.
Yeah, so it doesn't. Chode.
So I don't sound like So especially when he's not like saying chog, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, why is my grandpa
talking about that?
Talking about chodes. But anyway, that's the Trace double standard. The fart. I pay you to be funny. Don't fart.
I just like to picture these people in a boardroom trying to come up with cards, and they're like, what if we... Hear me out. I know the last 20 had farts in them, but what if we just did it one more time?
One more fart. Here's the thing.
What if we open the card and there's a little tab in the middle, and it's got a finger, and you pull it, and it makes a fart sound.
And
then everybody claps and says,
everyone claps.
That's a great idea, Jeff.
That's my dad's name.
Oh.
I didn't know he worked at Hallmark.
Yeah. You didn't know. You didn't know that he made that card you were making fun of.
That would actually make sense if he was the one in the boardroom, because he does do a lot of fart humor. But I don't pay him to be funny, to make me laugh, so I think it's funny.
Yeah.
He's also my dad, and it's like, you kind of expect it from your dad. I think that's why 90 to 95% of the dad Father's Day are fart jokes.
Yeah. For that.
I always also, the other thing, when there's like dad birthday cards, the dad birthday funnies are always about, like, they're like the boomer comics where it's like, my wife is a bitch. I hate my wife. I would like to kill my wife.
If I could.
Or it's also something about like, you're getting old and your balls sag now.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more variety with the dad birthday funnies.
Yeah.
But it's like 50-50. It's either my balls are sagging and I need a beer, or I hate my fucking wife. I want to kill her. Anyway, I've talked about cards for too long. I'm sorry. This is not the Hallmark episode.
It's not. Did we? We haven't.
I think we talked about Hallmark movies.
Was that on Hallmark this podcast?
Was that?
I don't remember.
We're fucking geniuses.
I don't remember anything we talk about.
It is like we go into this fugue state. Like literally
this is just like a conversation that just happens to get recorded.
Yeah, it is. that is, and then we'll get into it in just a second. That is a thing about, like, especially even when we first started doing podcasts, but you can always tell when someone's new
when
it.
We started doing podcasts like we're professionals.
Well, we have been doing it for over a year.
It's true.
I know, and there are a lot of people, because I listen to podcasts a decent amount. A lot of people say you don't really hit your stride until about the 100th episode or so.
Hear that, baby? These are the shitty episodes.
These are the bad ones.
How about that?
But you can always tell when someone's new to podcasting with when it feels more structured. Like you can. There's just something about the way they talk to each other. If it's like a duo or a trio, or if it's more than one person, like it's less of a conversation and more like we have bullet points to talk about.
Yeah.
And I always, when people want to, like, when I mention the show or someone finds out that I have a podcast and they're like, oh, I didn't know you had one. Should I listen to it? I'm always like, don't listen to the first, like, 20 episodes, because they're a lot more structured, and it, like, around this time, around like 2021, we started to it just started to be more flowy and natural.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And you can really tell when I'm, like, not structured, when 90% of the things I say are stupid, or I'm like ramble, because that's what I do. That's my thing. I'm trademarking that shit. That's what I do. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Let's get into this topic.
So let's.
That is true. I was gonna say something else, but let's just get into it.
Yes.
Hey,
have you ever thought about what the future could be?
What the future holds?
What's wrong? Probably. You idiot.
My future prediction is that in 10 seconds, I'm going to say the podcast gimmick for this week. We're talking about bad future predictions. That was a good future prediction because...
Yeah, did you drug that up for 10 seconds?
I don't know if I did that. I started to talk slow because I'm not on top of my A game right now. And then about 5 seconds into it, I was like, oh, okay, this is the bit I'm doing. I think my brain is acting faster than myself. We're talking about bad future predictions from the past.
Bad future predictions.
Oh, we might throw in...
People are idiots, always.
Yeah.
If I've learned one thing in my life, it's that people are always stupid.
You're not wrong.
They never get smart.
They never get smart. Albert Einstein, not smart.
If you want to learn one thing from history, it's that people never change, and that they're always stupid.
And they're all freaking losers, dude. If they were so cool, they would still be alive.
They'd be alive right now.
Just saying.
Anyway, let's jump into it.
Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
My first one, and thank you, BoardPanda.com.
Thank you, Board Panda. I feel like we visited them before. Thank you again, Board Panda.
Thank you again. Our first one comes from 1800.
Mm-hmm.
So you know it's going to be a real good one.
A real juicy one.
Rail travel at high speed is not possible because passengers unable to breathe would die of asphyxia.
Well, does it explain?
No. Dr. Dionysius Larder, professor of natural philosophy and astronomy, University College London.
Why do they think that I guess you can't breathe?
Moved forward too fast. You couldn't suck air in, right? I don't know. Trace, they were idiots back then.
They're dead, of course they're dumb.
I'm not sure about this when I say this. They didn't know about bacteria back then.
I feel like that might be true. When did germ theory become a thing?
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
was that 1800 or the 1800s?
Well, it says 1800. I imagine it's probably the 1800s.
Okay, because I was about to say, I don't think there were trains yet in 1800. I could be wrong.
It was in the 1800s that they discovered germ theory. So
they might not have known about germs. And I would say that most people still wouldn't have learned about germs for a good while.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's crazy.
I would understand that is pretty crazy that, you think about those things, germs always existed, but we didn't know about it until relatively recently.
We are experiencing the exact rail travel thing with 5G towers.
Well, yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, people are idiots. But that's more like, they kind of predicted, that was more of a prediction. They were like, we can't go fast. We can't go fast like Sonic the Hedgehog. Even though Sonic the Hedgehog is so radical, because Sonic has been around since the 1800s.
In the 1800s, they were like, Sonic would die because he can't breathe at that speed.
IRL Sonic would die.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Did they not know that, like I would get it if they were like, oh, trains in the future, there will be no walls or roofs. They're just going to be sitting on platforms moving on a train track. So, like, the wind, because, like, when you were little, you'd, like, stick your head out the window like a dog.
Yeah.
Or you'd, like, lean your head on the open window and it'd be, like, harder to breathe because the wind is, like, pounding on your face.
That's what they're thinking.
Maybe they were like, yeah, it's just going to be moving platforms moving at 80 to 100 miles an hour.
I can't imagine what they thought. What's your first one?
In 1905, Popular Mechanics predicted that the electric handshake would allow a physician to examine a patient in another city. This didn't come to pass, and if it did, the last thing it'd be is shaking your hand. Thank you, Cracked.com, for that sick joke. So it's basically saying you have a robotic hand that the doctor touches, and I guess the hand that... So there are two robotic hands.
Okay.
The doctor touches his hand, and then the hand in the other city moves like the doctor's hand does.
Okay.
So could you do a prostate exam from like Seattle to New York?
Wait, when was this?
In 1905.
They theorized that this could happen?
They thought that the doctor could put his hand in like a little thing, and another hand in a different city would move like his hand.
I mean, that hasn't happened yet.
I feel like they're starting to do stuff like that, but why?
They are, right? Like robots and
But
stuff?
Here's the thing. It's specifically doctors is the weirdest part about it. Like, why would you just not go to, like, say, let's stick to like a prostate exam.
Great. Yeah, this is a good touchstone.
Yeah, why would you go to the robotic hands doctor instead of like a different doctor who can do a prostate exam in your city?
Well, there are specialists. Maybe there's not a specialist in your town.
I'm a prostate specialist.
Okay, well, maybe not in the prostate. Maybe not in your stupid example, but.
But I would imagine that. I guess that would kind of make sense.
I don't know why they.
I feel like you could. It's dumb.
Oh, it's dumb.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
I'm glad that didn't happen. And you're dumb too, Sam.
Anyway, yeah, you're dumb because you're trying to do it now.
Is from 1859.
Okay.
Drill for oil? You mean drill into the ground to try and find oil? You're crazy. Associates of Edwin L. Drake refusing his suggestion to drill for oil in 1859. Later that year, Drake succeeded in drilling the first oil well.
I was about to say, didn't it happen around that time?
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a big oil boom or
like a month later they did it?
Yeah.
That's not like a future prediction. That's like, I guess it's still a future prediction, but it's like a near future, as in like, I say that the United States, it's still maybe going to be a thing in a week. Honestly, the way it is right now, I really don't know.
Everything's going nuts.
Politics, am I right?
Am I right?
That was mine.
Thank you.
That was my comeback.
Thank you for that.
And I think
anyway.
The last one was from 1800 because it's a quote. So it's probably from some paper or something.
I could definitely see someone in 1800 being like, rails? What is this? A train? What?
Excuse me? No, thank you.
I can only travel. I can only travel at
horse
20 miles an hour on a horse.
I can only travel.
And you're telling me that
I can travel at rail.
I can travel at rail. You're telling me I can now go 60 miles an hour? I will die.
I can't breathe.
I couldn't breathe
when I go that fast. It's too fast.
Anyway, this one I think is about Thomas Edison. I think it's things that he said. It doesn't have dates. It's just things that Thomas Edison has said. The house of the next century will be furnished from basement to attic with steel. The baby of the 21st century will be rocked in a steel cradle. His father will sit in a steel chair and at a steel dining table. And his mother's boudoir will be sumptuously equipped with steel furnishings. That's the first thing he said. That's dumb.
That is ridiculous. Now, hold on. Let's slow down.
Well, I think if Thomas Edison knew about plastic,
I guess that's
he would be more on nose if he was like everything will be plastic in the future because he wouldn't be as
chrome in the future.
Wrong. Yeah, like SpongeBob. Future. What were you gonna say though?
That is crazy. But then again, it hasn't happened yet. It's not like...
Well, he did... It is still the 21st century, so... It could happen.
You don't know what the next year's trend will be.
I just don't see all steel everything.
You don't see steel coming back?
Like a steel... But it's not that I don't see steel coming back, but it's just like... The steel chair thing specifically, because I guess Thomas Edison lived in a time where...
That sounds very dangerous.
Yeah, well, Thomas Edison, I guess, lived in a time where there's no such thing as comfort. Like you would lay on like a bed made of hay, and it would be itchy and pokey, and you'd be like, "This life fucking sucks."
Like bugs in it.
Yeah, they're like little bugs eating you all the time. So I guess I can see, him not thinking that maybe we'll know how to not ruin our backs and actually have good lumbar support.
There literally weren't light bulbs before him, so...
Yeah. Before he did the old Steely Stoolie and took the light bulb idea.
Hey.
Sorry, Thomas Edison is a hack.
Thomas Jefferson's a hack.
I do always almost confuse both of them. Just because of their names. And they're both old men.
And they're both Thomas.
Here's the other Thomas Edison quote.
Okay.
Gold has even now but a few years to live. The day is near when bars of it will be as common and as cheap as bars of iron or blocks of steel. Before long, it will be an easy matter to convert a truckload of iron bars into as many bars of virgin gold.
What the hell is he talking about? Is he talking about alchemy?
First of all, yeah. Wait, we'll get to that. What is virgin gold? I don't like that. I don't like that he said that.
Thomas Edison's fucking gold. In more ways than one.
I think we learned that Thomas Edison is a crazy person.
He is fucking gold, and he is fucking gold, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, he is just literally describing alchemy.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Did he really think that you could actually?
Okay, hold on. Does he mean literally turn them into, or like as a bargain, you are turning your iron bars into gold bars?
I hope he means that.
I did air quotes, by the way. I shouldn't do that on an audio medium.
Yeah, this is all audio. At least say,
air quote.
I'm glad you at least said you did air quotes because that.
I would have looked real foolish. Except I don't.
Well, you wouldn't have looked like anything because it's an audio medium.
God, I'm an idiot. I hit myself in the head, by the way.
Anytime we make movements, any movements from now on,
I lean to the
which
left.
Sucks for me because I talk with my hands a lot. My jaw is moving up and down.
Up and down, up and down. I'm moving my lips and tongue and mouth in a way to create words and sound that you will register.
Okay.
Unless you don't speak English.
Thomas Edison thought you could put atoms into something and make it something else, I guess.
I don't know. Thomas Edison's apparently an idiot.
He's apparently dumb.
You started out with like, gold isn't long, and I was like, okay, gold standard did go away.
Yeah.
And then you were like, it's going to be everywhere.
I thought, it was like that. I thought that it was going to be like, he's like, gold is going to be, nothing.
Yeah.
But then it's like still expensive.
Yeah. It still
and
has
it's
value.
Like, it's not like, also he's comparing it to blocks of, or like
iron.
Bars of iron and steel, like those are just everywhere apparently.
I mean, comparatively they are, right?
Well, yeah. I just feel like in his time he didn't know comfort, and because he would just sit on.
Well, an industry was kind of taking off.
That is also true. So it would feel like
iron is everywhere. There's just iron mines everywhere because we have all this technology to dig it up.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to the next one.
1876.
Mm-hmm.
This telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. Western Union International Memo. This telephone sucks. I can hear someone in a different room. That's lame.
I can speak to someone from another state.
Not useful.
Fucking cringe, bro.
That's so dumb. You thought that'd be cool? I can't even see that.
Didn't Alexander Graham Bell mean for people to answer the telephone by saying ahoy?
Maybe. Something stupid.
I gotta start doing that, actually. That sounds cool. Imagine how much that would throw you.
The appropriate way to answer the phone is yellow.
Yellow? But do you know how bad that would throw you off if you were like, especially if you were a telemarketer and you were like, okay, I got to call this person and tell them about their student debt forgiveness plan. and they answer the phone and they go, yeah, they answer the phone and they go, ahoy. I would probably hang up immediately.
Ahoy, matey.
Ahoy. I'm sorry. Ahoy. I'm sorry. I can't do this. And then you hang up.
You're actually crazy.
You're a crazy person. It would throw you off your game. Anyway,
it would. What's your next?
Well, I do want to talk about that because there are those. It's like the telephone will never take off, or television is stupid. Like, how is it dumb? Like, who would rather listen to someone describe something over the radio like they used to? They're like, man, the radio is so cool. Radio is so neat. I don't like seeing anything.
I love this not seeing stuff.
I love having people describe. I mean, it's basically, we should be saying that TV sucks because we're a podcast.
Yeah, TV does suck.
Only listen to things.
That's right.
Just go ahead and
tape your eyes shut.
Yeah, tape them shut. Like that movie Bird Box with Sandra Bullock. Just always have a bandage over your eye.
Yeah.
Eyes.
Yeah. Just the
anyway.
one eye.
Just your one eye.
And
all of our Cyclops listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad we went to the same place.
This also, so Popular Mechanics, the one that I talked about in the first one, where it was like the robot hand. This is another prediction from them, but this is in 1949.
Okay.
So 44 years later.
Say, okay, RoboHand was dumb, but how about this one?
RoboHand's dumb, but where a calculator like ENIAC today is equipped with 18,000 vacuum tubes and weighs 30 tons, computers in the future may only have 1,000 vacuum tubes and perhaps weigh only 1.5 tons.
I mean, is that false? Like, did they say that that's the cap? That's the furthest it'll go. That's the issue I'm having with a lot of yours.
It could eventually. I think they're saying that's the cap. They can't predict it getting any smaller or faster or Like, what's a vacuum tube? Like, what's that all about? Listen, and why do they need that many vacuum tubes?
It's part of a computer, is all I know.
I guess.
I get them in Fallout when I take them out of a computer or like a robot.
I look at my laptop and I'm not seeing enough vacuum tubes.
Yeah. Trace, a vacuum tube is probably like the size of our mics, if I had to guess. It looks like a light bulb, if I understand correctly.
Oh. Well, why is it called a... never mind.
Probably because it's vacuum in it.
And it's a tube.
And it's a tube of glass.
But I think they're predicting that it will only get that small.
Yeah. With current technology, it could only get that small.
Well, I think they're even... because that's like... To go from 30 tons. Imagine 30 tons. That is, what? Yeah, that's 60,000 pounds, right?
Yeah.
To only...
That's really heavy.
To only 3,000 pounds? That's like a big difference.
You can have a computer... Think of it. Think of the future where you could have a computer that only weighs 1.5 tons.
That's only 3,000 pounds. And it has
so cool.
And it has 17,000 less vacuum tubes.
That's a lot less.
That is a lot. That is a lot less. Anyway.
Holy cow! I can't wait to have it in my house.
Holy crap! Your next one.
1880.
Uh-huh.
Everyone acquainted with the subject will recognize it as a conspicuous failure. Henry Morton, president of the Stevens Institute of Technology, on Edison's light bulb.
Sorry. What?
Everyone acquainted with the subject will recognize it as a conspicuous failure.
And he's talking about electric light.
Yeah, a light bulb. He's talking about the light bulb. He's saying everybody who knows light bulbs will obviously say that it was an obvious failure. I mean, I'm looking at one right now, and it's 2020.
Yeah, there's at least 8 to 9 in the room I'm in.
Yeah, I think this might be one of like the biggest wrong-os.
Yeah, it's another thing where it's like the radio and the TV. Who is ever gonna say that candlelight is better? Because that's the implication, right?
Yeah. It's moodier.
It is moodier. It's really sexy, I'll say.
Super sexy.
It's super... Anytime I see a candle,
looks so much better in candlelight than fluorescent.
Because it's darker.
Yeah.
You can see them less. Yeah. Every time I see a candle that is lit, I get super horny. But here's the thing. Imagine you have a long house, a big house, a mansion mayhaps, because mansions existed at that time. That is a lot of candles.
That is a lot of candles.
And like natural light only does so much. Like natural light in my house isn't like...
I feel like
my house, yeah, with like 30,000 candles. You know how my house is. It's not, big, but it's not small.
Yeah.
Natural light, yeah, it's just it's a medium sized house. It's nice. Natural light barely keeps it like well lit in that size house. And there are windows. There's a window to door. There's a big window on the front of the house. There's window doors on the back of the house. There's windows everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like if natural light is having this much trouble to keep my house well lit, then you're definitely implying candles. So how is that better?
Candles suck. I'm just gonna say what we're all thinking. Candles suck.
I know light bulbs go out, but candles, they make a mess.
Yeah.
They create heat.
They can literally catch your entire house on fire.
If they get knocked over, you and everyone you love are dead.
Oops.
Oopsie daisy.
Oops.
If I knock a light bulb over, I just have to go grab a broom.
Yeah.
It's also hard to knock those over because they're embedded in the ceiling.
Yes.
Anyway.
What's your next
That's
one?
a dumb person. I'm glad he's dead.
Shit.
This is a quote from a man named Clifford Stoll.
Clifford the Big Red Dog. I love those.
It's Clifford the Big Red Dog. He's quoted in the year 1995 saying, this is in Newsweek.
Okay.
So this is a recent one. Clifford Stoll says, Nicholas, I don't know how to say this dude's last name. Nicholas, this guy, director of the MIT Media Lab, predicts that we will soon buy books and newspapers straight over the internet. Sure. So how come my local mall does more business in an afternoon than the entire internet handles in a month? Cut to now when Amazon is like the biggest company ever.
And Jeff Bezos can like jump like Scrooge McDuck into a room full of money.
And cut to Jeff Bezos can lose half of his money in a divorce and still be the richest person alive.
That's pretty crazy.
I think he's still the richest person alive.
I'm pretty sure he is.
He was so rich that when he and his wife got divorced and she took literally half of his money, she became the richest woman.
That's crazy.
If he didn't get divorced, I think Jeff Bezos would have been a trillionaire by now.
God.
Anyway.
That's depressing. In
Clifford Stoll, you're a fucking idiot.
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot and
Jeff
I hate
Bezos.
you. Yeah, say that. And that guy's probably still alive. So he's like looking at this prediction he made and he's like, oof, that was...
I really shoved my foot right in my mouth.
That was wrong. Anyway, what's your next one?
1995 is quite a while ago.
What? It's like
25 years.
25 years ago. That is a decent amount of time. That's older than I am.
Yes.
Anyway,
it's older than I am.
It's true. It's older than both of us. What's your next one?
My next one is from 1902.
Okay.
I mean,
that's also older than both of us.
Much older. This one's very obvious. Flight by machines heavier than air is unpractical and insignificant, if not utterly impossible.
Okay, I was about to say, if they don't include the fact that it doesn't feel like it makes sense, if they were just like, it's not even practical, I would be more like the fact that I could definitely see someone in 1902 being like, that doesn't make sense to me. That scares me. It's like showing a caveman fire. It's like, what the fuck is that?
This is terrifying.
Like seeing this is a plane.
18 months before the Wright brothers' flight at Kitty Hawk.
Okay, I knew that it would have been soon. God, I love it when these people predict something and then like barely a year and a half later,
it gets proved wrong. The funniest part is when I read flight by machines heavier than air is unpractical and insignificant, I thought he meant that we need to make an object that is lighter than air that we can stand on. He meant balloons, but yeah.
Like I said, I can definitely see where people come from when they're like, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, like you said, it's just like, it's unpractical. This is impractical. I don't agree with this. We need to find something better than airplanes. Anyway. This one I think is coming from 1951, my next one. It's just a magazine cover, so it says 1951, so I would assume that that's when this prediction was made. Mm-hmm. This comes from Popular Mechanics again. So these people are apparently stupid.
Notorious.
Oh, yeah.
Their poor predictions.
The new Hiller's Hornet is a small personal vehicle. Eventually, that price can be cut in half at least. Except for Korea, it would be ready for the civilian market this month. Okay, I thought that the description would at least tell you what it is. It is a miniature helicopter. They're predicting that miniature helicopters are going to... You know how in old Saturday morning cartoons, the villain would hop in a cartoon in a little helicopter that like looked like their face or something?
Yes.
But it was never like a big helicopter. It was always a tiny, like 1 to 2 person helicopter.
Like a circle, basically.
That is almost exactly what they predicted these were going to be. And that makes me think about the flying cars. We could talk about Back to the Future too, because that takes place in 2015, and there are a lot of true predictions and really false predictions.
Flying cars is a big one.
Flying cars. That's always the weird thing.
Flying cars. We get into so many accidents with land cars.
Well,
let alone flying cars.
I don't ever think that flying cars... I don't think it's not possible. I just don't think that they'll ever exist. Because you know how...
With our current technology, Trace, you have to say that. With our current understanding, me and Trace, we do not think flying cars are feasible options.
Yeah, they can definitely happen. They're just not... They'll never exist on the market, you know?
With our current understanding of how they will work.
Well,
no, you
like
have
hover
to say
car.
that. No, you have to say that, Trace, or you'll be wrong.
Do I? Because here's
yes,
the
you
thing.
Will. You're
no,
like this
because
listen. I'm
listen.
about to talk about the horse is here to stay, but the automobile is only a novelty.
No, listen though.
You are just like these people.
If okay, this is my thought process on this.
Okay.
They don't. The reason I know it will exist, it can exist. I'm talking about flying cars like there were in Back to the Future, where they can fly like into the clouds.
Okay.
Hover cars, I can totally see happening. Flying cars, if it were if the big thing, huge bummer alert, 9/11. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because you can't get on a plane with more than 6 ounces of shampoo, I do not think that they will let people have personal planes that they can fly around to and from work. Because if you were disgruntled, you could fly that into any building.
You're really bringing this podcast down just to prove your point.
There is no way that with the air regulations that they would let that happen.
Okay, well,
I'm just saying.
Okay, hold on. We're getting really close to self-driving cars. Let's just upgrade that to flying cars. Let's cut out the roads. Why worry with them? Nobody's driving their own cars anymore. It's all automated. What's it matter?
Because I would imagine you could still hack into... It's self-driving to an extent. Like, they're not actually... It's like...
Do you want to shove your foot in your mouth again?
That's not shoving my foot in my mouth. Is that or is that not like a good reason that there won't be flying cars that can fly into the sky?
That's a very good reason with your current understandings of how life will be.
I guess
there were people that thought they were going to die because a train moved too fast, Trace.
But that's stupid.
He was a scientist.
That's
a respected individual. He wasn't a crackhead down the street saying this.
But they didn't know that germs were real.
Yeah, and you don't know what's in the future. That's the point of all of this. You can't predict it. That is what this whole episode has been about.
The air regulations won't allow it. No. There's no way they'll allow it.
With our current understanding, they will not allow it.
I can never, ever I can't see it in the future. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's what they thought about trains. They were like, that doesn't make any sense. How can they breathe?
I can't travel 60 miles an hour.
I'll fucking die.
What's the next one?
I'm going to skip the car one because I talked about that.
Okay.
1916. The idea that cavalry will be replaced by these iron coaches is absurd. It is little short of treasonous. Comment by aide de camp to Field Marshal Haig at tank demonstration.
How is that treasonous?
To say that
this is almost. We are not going to sacrifice the lives of horses. This is almost treason.
With the way we fight wars right now, there's no way tanks will work.
That one just doesn't make sense.
With our current era,
with our current knowledge of technology, tanks don't make sense. But no, that's just dumb because that is like, imagine this armored beast that can't be taken down with a bullet, you know?
But imagine how clunky it must look compared to the elegant horse.
Yeah. Everything in war is about looks.
No, but I mean, in 1916, tanks were not cruising around at 40 miles per hour like they were in World War II.
Well, true, but still, it was like, it's like when the ironclad was made, you know? It's like the next logical step. This is not a boat that can, like, catch fire or hit a rock and go down.
Yeah.
We need to start making boats out of iron because wooden boats are weak in comparison. So we need to start making cavalry out of iron because horses can get killed easily, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the next logical step. Why have an organic...
It's kind of like a flying car.
No, it's not.
We're gonna.
I will stand by that till the day I die.
Wrap this episode up because I'm gonna be so passive aggressive about this.
No, I will stand by my thing till the day I die. Flying cars will never be available to the market. There is no way any regular Joe Schmo, and I'm glad that people can, like, just write this down. They're hearing it straight from the Trace's mouth.
Let's get the exact date. Let's just say the exact date.
It is June 22nd, 2020. 2:44 a.m. There is no way any regular Joe Schmo will be allowed to have a flying car. No way. It will never be available to the market.
Let's just add it to number 13. Do you want to hear, or add it to number 14? Do you want to hear number 13?
Yeah.
The truth is, no online database will replace the daily newspaper.
See, that, again, it's stupid. You can't tell me my flying car thing.
Oh my God.
You can't tell me my flying car thing is not smart. It's the smartest thing I've ever... I'm literally a genius.
No, that's a very good reason. In our current understanding. The guy with
what would change?
The guy with the vacuum tubes didn't even think of a computer without vacuum tubes. That's the thing. This person in 1995 didn't think about Google. They didn't know it would happen. What is wrong with you?
But, like, any intelligent thing that can fly something can easily, like, run it into a building.
Maybe they'll find a workaround. You don't know. That's what I'm saying.
All buildings will be holograms.
Exactly.
At that point. I'll say one more, I guess, and we can wrap it up.
Let's hit one more, and then we'll wrap it up because
this is from Isaac Asimov. I think he was a dystopian writer, right?
I think so. I think he was a sci-fi
an author. Yeah. The 2014 World's Fair will have exhibits showing cities in the deep sea with bathyscaphe liners carrying men and supplies across and into the abyss. So the fact that he thought that the World's Fair was still a thing is ridiculous. Which I'm kind of sad that they don't do that anymore, because that is
really cool to go see that.
That does sound
hitting the market,
like flying cars.
Like flying cars.
Like why? What's the practicality of living underwater?
I don't know.
I guess save room on land.
Maybe
he probably might have thought that like it's.
I don't know.
You know, you're running out of room on the land to move underwater. Yeah, I could see that eventually. Like underwater cities, there'll be few and far in between. Because I just feel like that would be an infrastructural nightmare to make.
Yeah, because one leak and everybody's dead.
Yeah. But I could see that, like, especially because the world is already starting to get so overpopulated.
Yeah.
At least to like shallow water areas.
Yeah, I could see that. And then it'll get to the deep part.
Like another 100 years later or something. When we know that glass is unbreakable or whatever.
When we have unbreakable glass.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's wrap it up because
today in history, I know we've already talked about history a lot, but today in history.
What happened?
1990.
Okay.
Adam Sandler joined Saturday Night Live.
That is a momentous occasion.
It is. It's an event of interest according to onthisday.com.
It's the beginning of an era.
It was actually like that was a pretty notable era in Saturday Night Live. You had like Adam Sandler. You had the Adam Sandler bunch.
Yeah.
You know, David Spade was on there, and but you know, Chris Farley and Adam Sandler, and is that still around the time? I don't know if that was around the time that, you know, Mike Myers was on there or not. I don't really know. Never really was one to watch Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I've seen clips, but I'm not like sitting down to watch that. I don't watch much of anything though, so.
But little known fact about when Adam Sandler joined SNL. The first sketch he wrote was he later turned the first sketch he wrote into the hit motion picture Jack and Jill. His debut sketch was him playing him and his twin sister, and one of them was dead on the inside, and the other one was annoying and loud, and just him in drag.
Dunkachino.
Al Pacino was the host of that episode, so yeah, there was the Dunkachino tie-in.
Dunkachino.
What's my name? Dunkachino. That's my game. Dunkachino. Yeah?
You stole my lie. That's literally what I was going to say. I thought of it when you first kind of said it. I was like
that's pretty good.
Jack and Jill.
Jack and Jill. You got another one, at least? Or no?
They call that era not grown-ups because they were younger.
Yeah. Adam Sandler's what, like 50-something now? 30 like years ago, he'd be like 20.
Yeah, so not grown-ups is... Oh, it's appropriate.
They're not grown-ups.
I feel like that's not a lie. That's just like something you could call it.
The not grown-ups era. Especially post-grown-ups.
Yeah. There's the pre and post grown up.
Imagine 100 years from now.
There's some alien.
No, like right now it's like there's BC AD or BCE BC, before current era, or BCE and CE. There's before current era or current era,
and the other thing.
and I don't know the Latin for the AD.
Yeah.
But like we're like, okay, we've been doing BC AD long enough. We've been doing it long enough. We're gonna start doing PGU. Well, great. No.
Okay, we need to wrap this up. My PC is gonna die.
Oh, is it? Okay, yes. Sorry. Okay, I was gonna say they're gonna start doing pre-grown ups, post
holiday. It's National Stupid Guy Thing Day. Go do a stupid
Adam
thing.
Sandler. Oh.
Yeah. With or without merit, guys are notoriously known for doing certain stupid things. For example, guys are often known for not listening to their significant others. Listen to your significant others. Thank you. Wrap it up.
Oh my God, we're doing this so quick now. Thank you for listening from our perspective, episode 70. If you have any friends who would like to listen to the podcast, send them our way. Word of mouth is the best way to get it around. Also, if you have any topic ideas, send them our way, and within reason, we will talk about them. We also have social media you can follow us on for updates, little videos, stuff like that. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at FOP_pod and Facebook at From Our Perspective. Other than that, we post a podcast every Monday. We will see you next Monday. I've been Trace.
And I've been Sam.
Goodbye.
Toodaloo!